Before death, Sal Mineo revealed the names of Hollywood gay actors he secretly dated, and that wasn't good at all. Sal Mineo, the guy who was once a teen idol, the one who bravely lived true to himself in an era full of prejudice and discrimination, a shining star, suddenly pushed into the shadows because of romantic secrets. And then, right before departing forever, he revealed names that shocked all of Hollywood. Secret romances with famous gay actors, passionate but also painful dates, and their consequences. Not good at all. First, let me introduce Sal Mineo in detail, so you can picture him more clearly. Born on January 10, 1939 in New York in a Sicilian immigrant family, Sal, or Phi Salvatore Mineo Jr. grew up in difficult circumstances. His father was a coffin maker, a detail that sounds somewhat eerie and ironic when thinking about his tragic fate later. His mother, a strong woman, saw potential in her son and enrolled him in dance and acting school from a young age. Imagine a boy with deep black eyes, a charming smile, and innate talent, stepping into the entertainment world full of traps and fierce competition. That was Sal Mineo, who before turning 10 had already started appearing on local TV shows. He not only acted but also sang well, danced skillfully, and quickly became a phenomenon on the New York theater stage. In those early years, S learned to face pressure, subtle discrimination because of his Italian roots, but he didn't know yet that bigger prejudices were waiting ahead. Sal's career truly exploded with the classic film Rebel Without a Cause in 1955. This is a movie that many older viewers like you probably still remember, clearly because it marked the rise of the rebellious youth generation after World War II. Sal played Plato, a sensitive, lonely teenager full of inner conflicts. This role not only earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, making him one of the youngest actors to achieve that at age 16, but also turned him into a youth icon. Plato is considered one of the first gay characters on the big screen, though in that era everything had to be cleverly concealed under a vague veil. Alongside James Dean, the guy with a rebellious look and mesmerizing charm, and Natalie Wood, the beautiful and talented actress, S shone brightly. But behind the stage lights, S's relationship with director Nicholas Ray was full of complexity and mystery. Ray, 27 years older than S, created the Plato role based on his own son and chose S for his cute appearance. There were rumors that Ray had sexual intentions towards S when he was still a minor. This makes us pause and reflect. In Hollywood back then, power often came with abuse, and S, with the innocence of youth, had to face such shadows. That's part of the mystery, part of the pain he carried throughout his life. And then we come to the most secret part, the part that makes today's story so dramatic and emotional. The gay romances that S secretly dated with famous Hollywood actors before his death. In private interviews and shares with close friends, S revealed some names that stirred public opinion and shook Hollywood. First must mention James Dean, S's close friend and biggest crush. They met on the set of Rebel Without a Cause, and the chemistry between them didn't stop on screen. S once admitted he was incredibly in love with Dean, and there were secret romantic moments, discreet late-night dates in Hollywood. Dean, with his masculine rebellious image, was also rumored to be bisexual, and this relationship was full of passion, but also jealousy, societal prejudice. But it wasn't good at all because Dean died in a tragic car accident just weeks before the film's release, leaving S in unbearable grief. S once shared that losing Dean was like losing a part of his soul, and perhaps that's why he started being more open about himself later, even knowing it would bring heavy consequences to his career. Not stopping at James Dean, S also had a secret romance with Bobby Sherman, a young actor and famous singer at the time. According to revelations before dating, S guided Sherman on gay relationships because Sherman was confused and unsure about himself back then. This was a passionate romance, with discreet meetings, secret love letters, but also full of risks because Hollywood then didn't accept it. There were even rumors that Sal's girlfriend, Gil Howarth, called off the engagement after discovering this affair with Sherman. This relationship isn't good. Not good at all because it led to internal scandals, making S isolated and losing many role opportunities. Sherman later became a teen idol star, but S was pushed into the shadows, and he once expressed regret about those romantic choices. Next, there were rumors about a romance with Paul Newman, the legendary star with mesmerizing blue eyes. Newman, at the peak of his career, then was said to have secret meetings with S during the filming of Exodus in 1960. S once revealed that Newman was someone he deeply admired, and this relationship wasn't just friendship, but had romantic elements. But Newman, with his model family image, kept this secret tightly, and S fell into suffering when the romance couldn't be public. Some sources say S was madly in love with Newman, but Newman only saw it as a passing phase. The consequence was S faced even heavier prejudice because Newman was a masculine icon and any rumor could destroy both careers. Not good at all, right? These revelations, even if just whispers before death, made S a target for the media hounding. Additionally, there were rumors about Marlon Brando, the guy with a strong appearance and outstanding acting talent. Brando was said to have discreet dates with S, especially during the period when S was seeking support from big stars. Brando, who also had his own sexual secrets, perhaps shared with S the difficulties of living true in Hollywood. But this relationship was full of complexity, with arguments and sudden breakups leading to pain for S. There are even sources mentioning Tony Perkins and Brandon Dowilde as people S had indirect romantic connections through Newman, but details remain vague and full of mystery. And don't forget Courtney Burr, S's last same-sex lover, lasting 6 years. Burr, an acting coach, was S's emotional support in the years of being boycotted. They lived together, shared everything, but this relationship was also exploited by the media after S's death, turning it into a scandal instead of sincere love. After the initial successes with Rebel Without a Cause, S continued to shine in Giant in 1956, again alongside James Dean. This film is an epic about Texas, with grand scenes and deep acting. S played a young Mexican who joined World War II, and this role not only proved his talent, but also reinforced his image as a versatile actor. But Hollywood began to prejudice him clearly. Always the rebellious teen, street criminal or minority character with his typical Italian appearance, black hair, tanned skin, S refused to change his name to something Americanized like Martin or Newman. He was proud of his Sicilian roots, often telling family stories about immigrant parents and the difficulties they faced in New York. But that made him pushed into supporting roles, villain roles, or exotic roles that Hollywood used for diversity without real fairness. In 1960, with Exodus alongside Paul Newman, Sal received a second Oscar nomination for playing a Jewish man sexually abused by Nazi soldiers. That scene was bold enough to shock audiences because the word gay was still taboo and Sal had to act with real pain. He once said in an interview, "I was abused like a woman." That confession moved many people and brought him a Golden Globe, but also marked the start of the boycott. But folks, Sal's career didn't stop at cinema. He was also a talented singer, with a warm voice and rock and roll style fitting the era. In 1957, the song Start Moving became a big hit, climbing the charts and selling over 1 million copies. S performed on TV with a seductive smile and energetic dance moves, making millions of girls swoon. He had other songs like Lasting Love and Party Time, and his album was warmly received. At age 18, Sal received an Emmy nomination for a TV role, proving he had everything to become a heartthrob, the guy who melts teen girls' hearts like Elvis Presley or Ricky Nelson. Imagine Sal on stage with an open-collar shirt singing about love and rebellion while deep inside he was struggling with his sexual identity. That's part of the mystery that makes his story more captivating than ever. However, from the late 1950s, S's career began to decline due to piled-up prejudices. He was labeled the Switchblade Kid from delinquent roles in films like Crime in the Streets or Somebody Up There Likes Me. The roles repeated dangerous teen and youth in danger, native in Disney films like Tonka or Street Criminal in The Young Don't Cry. Hollywood saw him as not white enough for heroic leads, and with Italian origins, he was often compared to mafia or negative images. Let's pause a moment to feel that injustice. Folks at our age, those who've witnessed the McCarthyism era, when being gay and different was seen as sin, surely understand the pressure S endured. He started living true to his bisexuality at age 21, not caring much about Hollywood, but that only slammed doors shut. He posed nude for painter Harold Stevenson in 1962 in the painting The New Atom, a giant work celebrating the male body called the world's largest nude by the press. That was a bold declaration about sexuality and self, but also the reason he was boycotted from major studios. After that, S found more freedom in theater. In the late 1960s, he directed and produced the play Fortune and Men's Eyes, set in prison, with themes of homosexuality and sexual abuse. The play was based on the author's true story, and Sal produced but acted alongside Don Johnson.